there's so much that you can actually do, right? Usually the phrase is, there's only so much I can do. But when you are under pressure, when there's a certain expectation of you, the mindset goes from, there's only so much I can do, to, there is so much that I can do and that I will do and that I must do. So there's a clear distinction between those two energies. And in my experience, I had a very high expectation of myself, from myself, showing up for these students, while simultaneously having a very high expectation from those who appointed me in this position. Now, a little bit about this position. I wasn't even supposed to technically have this position because it required that you have a certain level of qualification. And apparently, I did have that level of qualification, because if I didn't, I would not be in that position. But on paper, it wasn't supposed to go down the way that it did, right? That's just a little side note. In the experience, I realized that I had to balance between the standard and what was presented to me as the bare minimum, and then also my own ethics and my own awarenesses within that space. Working with children, you realize a lot, and you learn very much, or at least I learned very much. Not everybody has this experience, but being that I had my own personal issues with schooling systems, educational systems growing up, I feel called to show up in a certain way, in a certain light for the youth, because I understand that it's not easy being a highly intelligent individual in a small child's body, right? And so I like to give them that level of respect, where in which I perceive that you're probably way more wise than I am, because you are not as conditioned as I am. And, that's relative. You can gauge the energy when you're working with a child. But I always found that their lightheartedness, their joy, their ability to attune to themselves and to be honest with themselves as they went throughout the process. Now, when you're working in the realm of art too, this is a whole other thing where art uncovers so many emotions. Art is such a powerful tool, as many of you who are watching this know, because it is absolutely my intention to attract people who resonate with this artistic mind. And for those of you who are not so artistic on paper, right, I also really like to encourage you to understand that art has many forms, right? And you don't have to limit your artistic ability to a canvas or to a video or to whatever it is that has been presented, music. You can have an artistic mind and not necessarily produce a piece of quote unquote artwork, right? The student and teacher dynamic was very much in my awareness as I explored different territories in different school districts with different kinds of students, as well as just life experiences outside of the schooling system. I've always been around children. And so I see very clearly the ways in which I had to show up for them so that they can regulate their emotions, so that I can help guide them through